Hey, y'all. Greetings, beautiful souls. It is your favorite holistic practitioner, Dr. Briggs. And I just came on, y'all, because this song right here, The Best of Me, just really spoke to me. And I'm going to explain to y'all why, because sometimes we forget, honey. We forget where we come from. And I thank God that I have these moments where I'm reminded, and I feel humbled to be reminded of where I came from. So I'll just get into what this message is. I haven't been doing a lot of these videos, but I was like, today I was like, no, I have to do a video. And I'm really doing this video and was inspired by one of my past psychology students. This student is brilliant, gifted, and talented, and she hit me up because she was wanting letters of recommendations. You know, a lot of students will, you know, reach out for letters of recommendations for different things that they're doing in their lives. She's currently applying to different graduate programs. I'm so excited for her, so proud of her. But one of the things that we also talked about was just her trajectory and her learning and just her academic curriculum and some of the challenges that comes with, you know, being in graduate school, you know, and dealing with professors and dealing with feedback and those kinds of things. And so, you know, she talked to me about an incident that happened with her and a professor where she felt like, you know, the professor wasn't very understanding, wasn't very open to, you know, helping her with this paper that she had for this class. She got feedback on it, and it was, you know, I guess not enough feedback for her to understand what she should do to make her paper better. So there was a lot of back and forth, but I could feel, you know, as she was telling me the story, that energy of feeling defeated, of feeling inadequate, of feeling not competent, of feeling that, you know, this professor, you know, didn't have her best interest or didn't see her light, you know. And, you know, sometimes that happens. You know, it does. You know, and I didn't want to just, you know, I'm not going to say this, and I want to give the disclaimer. I'm not going to say that every professor, you know, that's out there, you know, are very subjective and they just go by feelings and emotions when they grade you. But I'll be honest, you know, and people who in the field and teaching, y'all know how people are, right? If you build positive relationships with people, more likely they just have a way of probably giving you more credit or understanding when things happen with your assignments and things like that. I'm not going to go all in that, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, if you between a B and a C, but you know your attitude and your vibe ain't right, your professor might give you a C, even though you could have got a B. You was like one pen away, but you know that negative energy or just maybe this different personality. I don't know, right? Fast forward. But as she was telling me this story, I was really thinking, because she finally, you know, had gone back and forth with this professor, and she didn't want to fail this course or get a fail on this assignment, because that's what it was at first. It was just like the feedback was like, you need to redo this paper. When she finally, you know, did the feedback, she still got a C plus. And I don't know if you guys know, but in graduate school, C's are like, ooh, you know, in grad school it's like B or better, you know. And it just really put me back into my own story of when I was in grad school. Because I had to remember, Candace, you was not a straight A student. Okay, I just want to tell you the secrets. I was not a straight A student. Now, I want people to understand that grades and how people evaluate you does not necessarily determine who you are. I had to learn that. It was a hard lesson. My first year of grad school, and I had to share this with her because sometimes my students will look at me and they like, well, you Dr. Briggs, you know all the things, you're so da. And I'm like, let me tell you, I was at the University of Iowa, coming from Grambling State University. You know, it's a culture shock, honey. You come from Grambling State University, you go to University of Iowa, right? So shout out to my advisor, Dr. Kit Gherkin, who is literally an advocate and an angel from heaven who really had my back throughout my whole career, throughout my graduate school. And I get emotional when I think about her, because that woman really saw things in me that sometimes I didn't see in myself. But I say this because my first year of graduate school, I remember sitting in the class, and it was my first time having like just a small little group, because mostly in undergrad you got like larger classes. Well, in grad school you might just only have 8 or 10 people in your class, and I was the only black girl in the class, right? And we were talking a lot about and it was a multicultural kind of class. We were talking about different things in education, and I remember feeling like, oh my God, this is a tough topic, and people were looking at me as if they wanted me to kind of thing. And at that time, now I'm really outspoken, and I say what I say, but y'all, it took me a while to get to this comfort where I'm able to speak and say what it is. Because when I first was in grad school, I was afraid, of course, because it was a new thing. I wasn't used to doing things like that. My professors didn't really understand that. And so they saw me as a person who wasn't actively participating, who didn't do much. I was also very, had high anxiety, still do, about assessments and tests. So I would get very strong test anxiety. In fact, I have a little perfectionism. So if I didn't know the answer, I wasn't going to say nothing. I didn't want to write it down because I was scared somebody going to judge me. If I wrote the wrong thing, they going to think I'm stupid. It was just all these thoughts, right? But I remember my feedback from that professor, and that professor told my advisor they didn't think that I was graduate school material. And y'all, it still, because I'm getting emotional now, but it still it hurt me so much, because a lot of people didn't realize I applied to so many different schools, and I didn't get accepted to any master's programs. I only got accepted to a doctorate program. And I remember thinking, how did I didn't get accepted to these counseling programs and these master's programs? But the University of Iowa saw me as a doctor. So when she said I wasn't graduate school material, it really made me sad. And I kept thinking, Lord, why would somebody say that, right? And I remember being in another class. Now this is all in the first year, y'all. Your girl was about to just pack her bags up, okay, and go back home, because I remember thinking it was the hardest semester, because I was the first time I was practicing testing. I had to do almost, I think, 20 assessments. I had to practice doing that. I was working as a graduate student. I was volunteering. I was doing so much, right? And I kept thinking, why would they think that I'm not a graduate school material, right? Another professor had said something similar and said that they didn't think that I should be in a doctorate program. And this was a black woman who was a young black woman. And, I forgive her now, because I know at the time she probably, didn't see me. And I'm not your typical, I didn't look like a graduate student, maybe, Everybody that knows me, I'm still wearing the big bamboo earrings. I'm still doing my nails, I'm still real LA-like, right? So I think because I presented myself in different ways, and I was so, at that time, very shy, not confident. And my non-confidence came off as incompetent, like just not able to. But I will say this, because I don't want to make this long. But when the world tells you no, and God says yes, it's a whole different ball game, honey. I worked my ass off. I did. I had a grandmother who believed in me, who was calling me doctor before I had my doctorate degree. I had friends who loved me. I had sisters. I'm so happy that I had people around who didn't, feed into this talk that other professors had gave me, And I had an advisor who looked at me and said, Candace, we're going to figure this out. You know, I did have to do an extra paper. I did have to go in front of a committee and really, you know, plead my case so that I didn't get kicked out of grad school, y'all. I was on probation my first year. And I remember telling my mom too, like, how am I not ready for this? But you know what? I did not give up, and I didn't let that. And I keep thinking to myself, how many people have went through that and stopped, just stopped and said, you know what, it ain't for me. And so I had to remind myself where I came from when I get to these places, because even in my career now, I get to these places where I'm like, oh shoot, it's hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Doing other things is hard. And I get things like, oh, you not ready. Or I get the message of, you can't do that. And what if I, you know, I'm sorry guys, y'all see me? I am a mess right now. Who knew this video was gonna be like this, Lord? Okay. But, you know, it's one of those things where if I would have stopped, then I would not be where I am today. And so I had to tell my student, honey, they ain't checking up GPAs when you get your whole degree. Hello? Don't ask me what my GPA was. Do it matter? I'm going to tell you what it does matter. What matters is what I do with that degree, how I apply it into the world. Don't ever let nobody tell you what you can't do and who you are. I'm so happy that I didn't believe it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that people believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And that's the kind of energy that I wanted to share with my students. So if she is watching, I love you. And I know, honey, you're going to be the baddest psychologist in this world, okay? Don't ever let nobody in no grade stop you, okay? So I just wanted to share that, y'all. I know I'm getting all emotional on things because I was just like, when I heard that and I felt her energy, I knew she was so, you know, defeated. And I was thinking like myself, like, tell her your story so she understand that it's okay. It's okay. Because there's going to be people in this world who don't even see the beauty in your gifts, and it ain't for them to see. God gave you the plan. God gave you the purpose, not them. So they ain't got to understand it. They don't have to even support it at times. And like I told her, girl, march on. If you ain't got to see that person ever again. Take that class. Take that C if you have to. I mean, there's things we talked about. I ain't going to even get into about the politics of it. But at the end of the day, I did a lot in my career where, you know, looking back, it wasn't easy. And I'm going to start sharing with y'all more, because sometimes I was thinking like, you know what? People don't know this journey. And I don't even think, sometimes I think about and acknowledge where I come from. Honey, this ain't been easy. It ain't never been easy. And it's one of those things where when you have faith and you at least have, you know, a good support system, sorry. A good support system with you, you could do anything. So I'm just glad again that God saw the best in me. I'm glad to my University of Iowa family who saw the best in me. Thank you. Thank you to my LA, California, Carson family, my church family. Thank you. Who else? Look, is this an award ceremony? Because I didn't turn it into it. It's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. But you get it. I want everybody, the main message is, please never, never, never give up on things that you know is for you. And when the road gets tough, because it'll get kind of crazy, y'all, just hold on. Keep your faith. Reach out for support if you need it. I'm here. You can always find me at Dr. Glam 3 on Instagram. Y'all know I respond to them DMs. I don't play that. You can always email me, we.risellc.services@gmail.com. I am working on manifesting this whole website so that y'all can book me. Look, yeah, book me. That's fine. But anyways, I want y'all to stay thriving and As always, I want y'all to continue to vibrate higher. I love y'all, and I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week this week. Mwah. Stay care.